What if I told you that the gradual weakness you might be feeling in your legs, the new difficulty in getting up from your favorite armchair, isn't an inevitable part of getting older? What if it's a condition your body is experiencing that you can actively fight back against, starting with your very next meal? Many of us are told that losing muscle, a condition called sarcopenia, is just something we have to accept. But I'm here to tell you that's not the whole story. It's often a metabolic issue, not a calendar issue, and it's something you can prevent and even reverse. The solution isn't some miracle pill or an exotic food you'd never dream of eating. It's a powerful master key, a specific nutrient that unlocks your body's own ability to rebuild and maintain muscle. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what that master key is. We'll explore the everyday, familiar foods where you can find it, from your breakfast eggs to your evening meal. And please stick with me to the end, because I'll share a simple but powerful timing strategy that can help your body stay in a muscle-building state all day long. You won't want to miss it.
All right, so let's talk about what's really happening inside our bodies. To understand how to rebuild our strength, we first need to understand why it seems to be slipping away. There are two key reasons, and they are not your fault. They are simply biological processes that we can learn to work around. The first, and most important, is a condition that scientists call anabolic resistance. Now, that sounds complicated, but let's make it simple. Imagine your body has a dedicated construction crew, and their only job is to repair and build your muscles. When you were younger, this crew was energetic and highly responsive. You'd eat a meal with some protein, the building materials, and the crew's foreman would immediately shout, "All right, team, materials are here. Let's get to work." And the muscle-building process would start right away. But as we get older, something changes. This is anabolic resistance. Think of it like the foreman has started to doze off on the job. The building materials, that same healthy protein you're eating, are delivered to the construction site, but the foreman is asleep. He doesn't give the order to start building. So even though you're supplying the right materials, they just sit there, unused. Your muscle-building engine doesn't get the signal to start. To put it another way, researchers describe the muscle of a young person like a very sensitive bell. Just a light tap, a normal amount of protein is enough to make it ring loudly, signaling muscle growth. But as we age, our muscles become like an old, heavy bell. That same light tap does almost nothing. You need a much stronger, more specific hit to get it to ring with the same volume. That's why simply eating the same amount of protein that worked for you years ago might not be enough to even maintain your muscle mass today. Now, there's a second piece to this puzzle. For that construction crew to even get the materials in the first place, they need a key to unlock the warehouse door of your muscles. That key is a very important hormone called insulin. One of insulin's main jobs is to help transport nutrients, like the amino acids from protein, out of your bloodstream and into your muscle cells, where they can be used. But as we age, our insulin sensitivity can decrease. It's like the lock on that muscle warehouse door gets a little old and sticky. The key, insulin, doesn't turn as smoothly as it used to. As a result, fewer nutrients and building blocks can get inside. It makes it harder for your muscles to get the fuel they need, even if that fuel is right outside the door. So you see, we're facing a double challenge: a sleeping foreman and a sticky lock. It's no wonder so many of us feel like we're losing ground. But here's the good news I promised. We have a way to solve both of these problems. We have a way to wake up that foreman and make that key work smoothly again. And that brings us to our master key, leucine. So, how do we wake up that sleeping foreman and make that sticky lock work again? We use a master key, and that master key is an essential amino acid called leucine. The word essential here is critical. It's a medical term meaning our bodies cannot produce leucine on their own. We absolutely must get it from the food we eat every single day. You can think of protein as being made of many different building blocks called amino acids. Leucine is one of them, but it's a very special one. While there are other similar amino acids, the scientific community widely recognizes leucine as the most powerful and most important one for kickstarting muscle repair and growth. Here's why it's the master key. Leucine doesn't just act as a building block, it also acts as a powerful signal. It's the spark plug for your muscle-building engine. When enough leucine enters your bloodstream after a meal, it directly activates a critical signaling pathway in your body called mTOR. You can think of mTOR as the master switch or the site manager for all construction inside your cells. When leucine flips this switch, it sends a powerful message that echoes through your muscles, essentially shouting, "Wake up! It's time to build!" In fact, its role as a signal is so crucial that even if you have all the other amino acid building blocks available, the whole construction process won't start effectively without enough leucine to turn the key. This leads to the most important, practical piece of information I can share with you today. Scientists have discovered something they call the leucine threshold. It's the minimum amount of leucine needed in a single meal to overcome that anabolic resistance, to hit that old bell hard enough to make it ring. So what is that magic number? Based on numerous studies, the science is clear. To effectively flip that muscle-building switch on, those of us over 60 should aim for about 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine per meal. This amount typically comes from eating around 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein. This is our actionable goal. Reaching this 2.5 to 3 gram threshold at each meal is the key to telling your body it's time to preserve and build the muscle that is so vital for our health and independence. So, where can we find it? Let's dive into the simple, everyday foods in our Leucine Toolkit.
Okay, so we have our mission to get about 2.5 to 3.0 grams of the master key, leucine, at each of our main meals. That might sound like a very technical goal, but I promise you, it is simpler than it seems. You do not need a science lab in your kitchen. You just need a toolkit of simple, everyday foods. And today, I'm going to give you that toolkit. We'll start with what I call the Leucine Champions. These are foods that are not only packed with leucine, but also come from sources that our bodies can absorb very efficiently. First on the list is a humble, affordable, and incredibly versatile champion, the egg. For so many of us, eggs are already a breakfast staple. Now you have another great reason to enjoy them. Just 2 large eggs will provide you with around 1.1 grams of leucine. Think about that. With just 2 eggs, you are already nearly halfway to that magic number we need for one meal. And here's a tip. Don't skip the yolk. The yolk is where you'll find vital nutrients like choline, which is essential for the communication between your nerves and your muscles. For your brain to tell your muscles to contract properly, you need choline. So starting your day with a couple of whole eggs is a fantastic first step. Next up in our champion circle is another breakfast and snack favorite, Greek yogurt. Please be specific here. I mean real, plain Greek yogurt, not the sugary, dessert-like versions. An average 1-cup serving, which is about 7 ounces or 200 grams, can provide a powerful 2.2 grams of leucine. That is incredibly close to our 2.5 gram target in one simple bowl. And what I love about Greek yogurt, especially for seniors, is that it's easy to digest, and its smooth texture is perfect for those who may have difficulties with chewing. On top of that, it's full of probiotics, the friendly bacteria that support a healthy gut. And a healthier gut means you can better absorb all the wonderful nutrients you eat. Now let's talk about lunch and dinner with our other champions, poultry and lean beef. This is where hitting our leucine goal becomes incredibly easy. A modest 100-gram serving, that's about the size of the palm of your hand, of cooked chicken breast delivers a solid 2.5 grams of leucine. A similar-sized portion of lean beef steak gives you an even more impressive 2.6 grams. This is fantastic news. It means a single, normal-sized portion of chicken or beef in your meal is enough to hit that leucine threshold and flip the muscle-building switch on, loud and clear. A practical tip here is to choose lean cuts and to cook them until they're tender, making them much easier to chew and enjoy. If you're finding these simple food ideas helpful so far, do me a small favor and tap that like button below. It's a completely free way to support the channel. When you press like, it tells YouTube that you value this kind of straightforward health information, and it will help the algorithm show you more videos just like this to support you on your health journey. Thank you for that. Now let's move on to our next category of foods. I call these the excellent supporters. While the champions we just discussed are powerhouses, these supporters are just as crucial for creating a varied, healthy, and effective diet plan. First up is fatty fish, like salmon, mackerel, and sardines. A standard 100-gram serving of cooked salmon provides a very strong 2.0 grams of leucine, getting you very close to our daily goal. But the true superstar quality of these fish are their incredible abundance of omega-3 fatty acids. Remember earlier when we talked about the underlying issues causing muscle loss? Inflammation is a key contributor to making our muscles resistant to growth. Omega-3s are nature's most powerful anti-inflammatories. So when you eat a piece of salmon, you're not just providing the building blocks for muscle, you're also actively fighting the inflammation that can make the building process difficult in the first place. Next is an unsung hero that you can find in any dairy aisle: cottage cheese. For years, cottage cheese has been a secret weapon for athletes, and it's time we all took advantage of it. You might be surprised to learn that a single cup of low-fat cottage cheese can contain up to 2.8 grams of leucine. That hits our target perfectly in one simple serving. It's also incredibly rich in protein, around 28 grams per cup, and is wonderfully versatile. You can eat it plain, or, as I like to do, mix it with some fresh fruit for a delicious and satisfying meal or snack. Furthermore, much of the protein in cottage cheese is a type called casein, which is slow digesting. So this makes it an ideal evening snack, as it can provide a slow, steady stream of amino acids to your muscles throughout the night, helping with repair while you sleep. And finally, I want to talk directly to my friends who follow a more plant-based diet. You have fantastic options too. Your best sources of leucine will come from soy products like tofu, tempeh, and edamame, and other legumes like lentils and chickpeas. Now, it's important to be realistic. The concentration of leucine in plant sources is generally lower than animal sources. For example, a full cup of cooked lentils provides about 1.3 grams of leucine, and a cup of firm tofu offers around 1.7 grams. So, while you might need a slightly larger portion or to combine a few of these foods in a meal to reach that 2.5 gram threshold, they are incredibly valuable. And they come with a wonderful bonus: fiber. All of these plant-based foods are packed with fiber, which is not only essential for good digestive health, but also helps to manage blood sugar levels. By slowing down the absorption of sugar, that fiber helps to tackle that sticky lock problem of insulin resistance we talked about earlier. So with legumes, you're supporting your muscles and your metabolism all at once.
So you now have your toolkit. You know what leucine is, and you know where to find it. But how do we put it all together into a daily strategy? This is where we create a simple, powerful action plan. And that starts with the special tip I promised you at the beginning of this video. The single most important change many of us can make is not just what we eat, but when we eat it. The science has become very clear on this. For older adults, the distribution of protein throughout the day is more important than the total amount you eat in 24 hours. Think of your muscle-building metabolism like a campfire. To keep it burning brightly all day, you don't throw all the logs on at once in the evening. You add logs steadily. It's the same with protein. Unfortunately, the typical eating pattern for many Americans is to do the exact opposite. We have a breakfast that's very low in protein, maybe some toast, cereal, or just coffee, a modest lunch, and then a huge protein-heavy dinner. When we do this, we miss the golden opportunity to stimulate muscle growth in the morning and afternoon. A study looking at older adults with type 2 diabetes found a shocking reality. Their average leucine intake at breakfast was only 0.58 grams. Not a single person in the study reached that critical 2.5-gram threshold in the morning. So, the action plan is simple. Stop saving all your protein for dinner. Aim to distribute it evenly. Start your day with a protein-rich meal of at least 20 to 30 grams of protein, ensuring you get close to that leucine target. Next, let's talk about the power of pairing. Remember our sticky lock problem with insulin? Leucine itself is a great help here. It can actually encourage your body to use insulin more effectively, helping that delivery truck get nutrients into your muscles. The best way to support this is not to eat these foods in isolation. Pair your leucine-rich protein source with healthy, fiber-rich carbohydrates and healthy fats. Think eggs with a side of whole-grain toast, or Greek yogurt with some berries and nuts, or a piece of chicken with a small sweet potato and green vegetables. This creates a balanced meal that supports your entire metabolism. And now for a very quick but very important note on safety. The information I share is for educational purposes, but it cannot replace the advice of your personal doctor who knows your unique health history. Before you make any significant changes to your diet, especially increasing protein, it is vital to speak with your healthcare provider. This is particularly crucial if you have any pre-existing conditions. For example, for those with chronic kidney disease, protein intake is a complex issue that requires personalized medical advice. Likewise, if you are taking medications for conditions like diabetes or Parkinson's, adding more leucine could potentially interact with them. So please use this information to have an informed conversation with your doctor to create a plan that is safe and perfect for you. With that said, let's make this interactive. Since we now know how important a protein-packed breakfast is, I'm curious, what is your favorite healthy, high-protein breakfast to start the day? Let me know in the comments below. Reading your ideas helps our whole community learn, and it helps me know what you're most interested in for future videos.
So, as you can see, reclaiming your strength and fighting back against age-related muscle loss isn't about some miracle cure or one single magic food. It's about empowerment through knowledge. It's about understanding the power of the master key, leucine, and knowing that you have a whole toolkit of familiar, delicious, and accessible foods to use every single day. The most effective strategy is always to get these vital nutrients from whole foods as a part of a balanced and enjoyable diet. You truly have the power to fight back against muscle loss. It doesn't start with a monumental effort or an intimidating new gym routine. It starts with a simple, conscious choice at your next meal. You can do this. Thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me today here at The Simple Health. I sincerely hope you found this information helpful and that you feel equipped to take the next step. And as always, please remember to drink plenty of water throughout your day to stay hydrated. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.